with clouds and with leaves, we are live.
With clouds and with leaves. I didn't know it was 420. I mean,
That
Wait,
was my
are we at
Stardew
my
intro
neighbor's
that it
house?
wait, where are we?
that
Is this roll for beer or roll for blunt? What?
that was the best $4 I ever spent on Etsy. Come at me, wife.
She's gonna come downstairs and be like, "You did what?"
There's that. See, I'll get to the rest of it. We have a running conversation in our house that if she goes to spend $4 on Etsy on a thing, somehow it hurts me in the deepest part of my soul. But when I do it, it's immediate value.
Well, let's be honest. You were giving her a hassle because she was doing Excel spreadsheets.
Just do them yourself.
But
I'm a very specific. Or how did you phrase it yesterday, Sarah? I said I'm a very specific kind of neurodivergent. You're like not that specific. It's
No, you're
yeah,
not. No,
spreadsheets and
no.
math. I just
Yeah, I will say though, as someone who hates making spreadsheets, cut corners where you can and get someone else to do it for you. $4 is $4.
$4 is
true.
$4. You can't even buy like anything at. You could buy maybe a soda at McDonald's for $4 nowadays.
But then
Mhm.
you don't get the love and experience of doing it yourself.
No,
I
but
feel
then I
like you're
make
the
more
only one
I
that
but then
likes
I
doing
make
it.
more time for filling it in and color coding it to my specifications, and then I can get on with my day to world building,
That's
which is
fair.
where I wanna go and spend my time.
See, Sarah has a good point.
Mhm. I only make good
Uh,
points after 9 p.m.
Yeah, oh, right? And we're gonna get a beer in you. Only the best points from here on out.
Look, depending on which one gets chosen, they go from normal size to whatever
oh,
this is.
that's amazing.
So,
I
That
like
is
it.
I have like the old AT&T commercial where it's just the bars, like you can make that with the beers that are on my desk right now.
oh
I will
my
take a
god.
I'll take a photo and send you in the group
Now,
chat.
y- being from America, does
Yeah?
does that tall boy can say it's a liter, or does it say it's like a quart?
Let me check. These are the only ones I could buy individually, so
Oh yeah,
let's see. It says 25 fluid ounces.
okay, I see.
I
So
I
whatever
have
that is.
I have tall ones too, but
So
they're
a
not
liter,
even
liter
that
and a half.
tall.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness.
If I roll this one, Sarah will not be drinking the whole thing.
Sarah
So I
will
will be
be
under the
there.
desk.
There
We can
will
always
be a
stop for pee breaks. It's fine.
Patreon. There'll be a
Um,
Patreon to see how much we can pay to see how much Sarah drinks it.
welcome
It's
to Roll for Beer, um,
yeah.
the best beer drinking TTRPG podcast, hosted out of exclusively Canada, but not always populated exclusively by Canadians. I made that up on the spot, and I'm sticking with it. I'm just going to go with it
Sounds good.
because Americans like to drink too, and they also
We
have
do.
good reasons to do so.
It's how we cope. It's how we cope with the fact we can't just move to Canada with y'all.
There's that.
We just
Um,
drink online with you guys.
Drinking in
t-
solidarity is a free action.
It's not
taking
solidarity if you're online chatting.
taking the advice of my wife, when we were fleshing out all of our topics for this season, um, I for those that may not know me, I'm a bit of a know-it-all, and that comes from me collecting hobbies and hyperfixating on everything for a little while at a time, including like Wikipedia, rabbit holing. Uh,
Mhm.
so I generally have a pretty good understanding of fucking everything. And if I don't, it bothers me enough that I need to go learn about it. So, on the advice of my lovely spouse, she's like, "You guys should pick something that you know absolutely nothing about," and that's being femme presenting on the internet and having to deal with all that goes with it. Um, Allison is a admittedly reasonably new to content creation
Mhm.
streamer, and Sarah has been around the block a handful of times.
Few times.
Just a handful. What was the comment from our Stardew stream last night? Who was the town bicycle? What was her name? Janet? Addie? No,
Was it Judy?
Judy.
What did we name the garden hoe?
Judy.
Okay, for context,
No
You need
context.
to, you need to fill
were
me in on
talking-
this too.
we were talking about the garden hoe, which is a tool in Stardew, and a comment was brought, and people kept talking about their hoes, and I said her name's Judy. And I think we were so slap happy by that point.
It was a good night. It was
Mhm. It was
cathartic
a lot of fun.
as fuck. Yeah. For the uninitiated, if you've never tuned into Roll for Beer before, because you don't listen to podcasts or drink beer or like TTRPGs or I can't help you if it's any of those things, but here we are. The format that we look to is we take a die of the appropriate size, we roll it lovingly into our microphones for that sweet, sweet ASMR sound, and whatever we roll is what we drink. The beers in front of us are not always good. They're usually pretty okay though.
I have one that I really hope I don't roll. I'm not even joking. I'm like, this one I picked out because I liked the label, but at the same time, I don't want to drink that one tonight. If I get that one, I swear to God.
Sarah, in where you're from in the Mitten State,
Mhm.
do they have a game called Drink That Beer?
No, we just drink beer.
Okay. We'll get into it, but we have a game here called Drink That Beer. And how you
Okay.
play is you drink that beer, and then you drink that beer, and then you drink that beer, and then carry
You
on.
know what? You win another beer.
Another beer.
Okay. I will do it on one condition. You have to send that photo that I sent to our group chat to your Discord server so everyone can see what I'm dealing with here. Because
I love it. You
this
know
is-
what? It's the Wi-Fi signal.
It is. This is going to be a very interesting podcast for me.
We
Specifically.
just started, camera, and you're giving me shit this morning. If anyone
hey.
doesn't know, my camera likes to restart on us, so we decided to make it a fun little game. Whenever my camera restarts, whenever I'm streaming on the podcast or anything like that, I put $1 in the technical difficulties jar. Once that stream or everything is done with, I count out how much technical issues I've had, and we donate it to charity. That makes it a little bit better, in my opinion.
I can't help but feel like the charity should be just going out and buying you a new camera, though.
All right, you little shit. You know what? By
Like-
how many times I'm going to be doing the podcast, and every Wednesday you can see me on Logomancy doing a stream, I probably will be able to buy a camera by the beginning of next year.
I love it.
it.
Do you have your dice? Do you have your cup?
I chose green today.
Ooh.
Me
I've
too.
got
Am I rolling into the cup that I'm drinking out of or into
mean,
a dice tray?
whatever's going to
Do you have
make the
preference?
loudest crystalline clickety-clackety goodness.
I got to ask about the dice tray first. Is that metal on the bottom of it?
No. Okay. It's actually hand painted leather. This is from this is not a plug, but this is actually one of my channel affiliate sponsors, Misty
Ooh.
Mountain Gaming. They have beautiful leatherwork products and dice on their website, and I'm going to be rolling one of their dice.
I spoke to them at Fan Expo here in Calgary. Actually, one of the people there is going to stream with us on Logomancy.
Oh, that's awesome. They're fantastic as far as like an affiliate arrangement goes. I never call them sponsorships because they're not sponsorships. They don't pay my bills. But as far as like a company and like their business ethics go, they're pretty great. I'll tell you, I can't tell you on air, but I'll tell you off air what I'm doing with my player's gift that I purchased this month with my credit to them. You're
I
gonna
like it.
you're gonna flip.
So I recommend Into a Glass because it makes the
Okay.
best sound. Don't pull a Riley. Riley used to drink his beer with the dice in the glass afterwards.
Yeah, this
And
is sharp edged. I'm not doing that with
Do
this
it with a
D4.
D4. Do it.
I'm also rolling a D4. right.
I'm rolling a D8 because I have 8 beers in front of me.
That is
Good.
so many beers. Okay.
Good
All
on
right.
you.
But I'm rolling in a tower today because it has a little
Sure.
dice.
No, I'm gonna put
On-
mine in there and just shake it up in here. I
On
think that'll be
3,
good fun.
2, 1.
No.
Oh, I got a 3. Okay.
That's
I got a
2 for
3
me.
too. I got a 3. And you know which one it is? The one I really don't want to drink.
I see how it is.
Mine is the second to largest. This one is a Michigan brewery. This is Bell's Oberon Ale.
Ooh.
This is actually their main brewery. I don't know if they have more than one now. Is actually in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where I went to college, and we had Oberon Day every summer when this came out. Bell's would throw a big Oberon Day extravaganza essentially at their brewery. And if you went to Western Michigan University, you were told that your professor needs you to come into class, but they won't be taking attendance that day.
I love
And
it.
your professor was probably going to be at the brewery as well, but couldn't actually tell you that.
Love that.
It was a ghost town on campus those days.
What about you, Allison?
Well,
Well, shit.
I have this thing where I thought it looked really cool. And it reminded me so much of the old ice rink coffee dispensers, which is a very niche thing. It's called Double Up. It
Oh,
is a coffee milk stout. It is flavored strong beer, and it's cream coffee and espresso flavor. Now, here's the thing. I get up at 2 a.m.
Mhm.
This was a bad idea.
It's
It
So-
originates in Toronto, Canada, and it's from the Tomorrow Brewery Co.
I think we've drank that on stream before.
Have you?
Yep.
You need to send me the list of what you've drank.
Yeah, it was one of the early, or something like incredibly similar to it. But we've had one or two different coffee milk stouts before then.
They have the
Good
"Oh
luck.
Canada" lyric on it. I'm not even joking. I'm reading this like it says "Oh Canada." Oh no.
I have art imitating life, and it's VK Bruco's Jet Lag, which is exactly what I'm going to be when I fly to Gen Con.
You're gonna be so tired.
It's going to be
Oh.
a day.
When
It's
is
gonna-
that? That's
Uh,
coming up, isn't it?
August
End of July.
or
Yeah.
July, yeah.
Because you need my bag. I just gotta
Yes.
remember that. Okay.
Actually, I'm good. I
Okay, all right.
figured out a camera solution for stuff. So this is a fruity lagered ale by VK Bruco, one of our sponsors. They help keep us in sweet, delicious beer. This is just a barley, malt, hops, and assorted different dried fruits that go into it,
Mhm.
and it's got nice little hoppy palm tree goodness on it.
Aw,
Life is
that's
That
good.
reminds me of
cute.
a kiwi.
Yeah, it's a hop like from Stardew Valley. So we generally crack into the mic and try not to get beer onto our mics because
Okay.
that's the thing. But ASMR goodness on 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just straight up coffee smell. It's just straight. It just whiffs.
Thank you for the follow, Sir Heckalot. I appreciate it.
Heck, hey. All right.
Oh,
I'll try and give you the pour ASMR.
oh yes.
I think I'm gonna get noise gated though.
Ooh, that's very good.
Ah! Pour it all over myself.
You weren't even on the glass. That was a bad pour, my friend.
That was a poor pour.
That was a very bad.
That was the poorest of pours.
And I love how you're pouring into a Kermit the Frog cup. We must appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm-
this is from the 90s. It's the Great Muppet Caper. I have the full set. I love these glasses.
Did you the Muppet movie?
Yeah.
Um
One of the
Did
most
you-
cinematic masterpieces we've ever had grace our eyes. Go on.
did you ever catch the post-punk album that was all Muppet movie covers?
No.
I have a feeling you need to send that to her right now. Right
I'm
now.
gonna have to listen to that. Yeah.
I will grab the album here. It's called Muppets the Green Album, and it's got like OK Go and Weezer, The Fray, Alkaline Trio. Amy
That's
Lee
so
does a
cool.
song. Yeah. It's fucking dope.
Fucking dope.
I'm just gonna throw it in chat right here for people that use Spotify. And
Fantastic.
it is what I cook to. It's everything I need in my life. How's your beer?
My beer's fantastic. Oberon is a fantastic beer. 10 out of 10 recommend.
That is
All
amazingly
head.
good. Well, don't get me wrong.
Let's
Lots of
be
head.
honest. I just saw that and I was like, foam beer.
Mm.
Not bad. Very, very fruity, but not like punch you in the face fake tasting fruit like you normally get
Mhm.
from like fruited lagers. But how's your milk stout?
You know what? It kind of reminds me of someone took a Tim Hortons black coffee and just poured beer in it. It's not bad. It's not. I know that makes it sound way worse than well, my descriptions are just fantastic. It's pretty good. It gives it a little taste of coffee flavor, but you get like the beer flavor mixed in with it and a little bit of aftertaste of bitter coffee, which is kind
Mhm.
of nice. I'm not sleeping tonight because I can taste the caffeine and I'm in trouble. I'm going for a run after this podcast. If anyone wants to go for a run with me,
I like it. You live too far away though. Can't
I know
help
where
it.
you live. I'll drive up. We'll go for a mile run. Let's do it.
You know what? You know what? I will hop in my car right after this. I will be there in like 4 days.
Perfect.
I'll be there in time for the next podcast.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
roll for
if
beer
you-
running.
If you got on a Delta flight, you'd also be here in 4 days because they'd put you in Los Angeles first and then over to Chicago and then they'd send you up to Calgary.
Okay, next time you just need to fly into Toronto
Yeah.
and I can just pick you up in Toronto because it's only 4 hours away from me.
Yeah.
Next
And-
year.
Or I could just fly from Toronto to Michigan.
Yeah, you could.
It'd be easy. But next
You
time.
could also take the train.
That's true.
Oh, the train is a lot of
Mhm.
fun. I took the train before.
We
Be a
took the
good time.
train to Breakout Con. It was fantastic.
I have to. That probably would have been a much more efficient solution.
Mhm.
Live and learn. I'm traveling by myself, and that removes a lot of the stress and considerations because
Mhm.
I worry about other people and how it goes. And when I'm by myself, I just raw dog it.
Yeah.
Like I spend a 4-hour flight just looking at the seat in front of me.
Just dead stare.
Just dead stare. No
I
sleeping.
usually take a nap on planes.
I try to, but sometimes when there's turbulence, my anxiety is like, haha, nope.
I
You're
have
up
this
now.
problem where I have this thing called titties, and
Oh, me
And-
too.
and
me
shoulders.
free!
and I can't put my arms down because of it. So when I'm on a plane, I'm like this the whole time.
Just
Gotcha.
So trying to sleep on a plane is no bueno the majority of the time. Aisle seats only. It's for everybody's best interest. So tonight we're going to go over a little bit about content creation and all of the toxic cesspool folks that slowly surround it, like guppies.
But we
Guppies?
also might talk
Eyebrows?
about the good
Yeah.
people nowadays because coming in as
That
a
too.
new content creator, it's much different.
I'll
We
let
gotta
you
have
think
a little.
that.
Well, we just need a little
Like,
positivity.
coming
We
back.
can't just be sitting there, just meh. An itty bitty, an itty
I'll let
bitty.
you hold on to that hope until I snuff it out, like
Oh,
me and
okay.
Matt coming onto the material plane.
In the first year that we were
Mhm.
doing stuff, I met I interacted with more people that were either just too tired to be polite
Mhm.
than I did actually outright negative hater. We get people that jump on stream that I have to be like delete comment, delete comment, delete
Mhm.
comment because people are shitty.
Oh yeah.
It happens a lot. I think no matter who you are, it's people suck sometimes. But I don't think it's an equitable experience by any stretch of the imagination between folks that look like me and folks that look like y'all.
It's really not, and I have two very good friends who we just have a private chat. We used to have a podcast together before one of my friends decided he was going to write his own TTRPG system on his own,
Mhm.
and has been doing that for the last. I think he's been working on it for a year and a half. It's Taryn.
Yeah. Yeah.
We used to have
The
a show called the Dead Level Podcast, and we still have our private group chat as admins of that. And I send him and Josiah, who is Dungeon Dad on the internet,
Mhm.
I send them all of the horrific things that people say to me. I usually like 2 or 3 screenshots a month at this point.
I'm sorry.
I'm
That
so
is
sorry.
that's horrendous shit.
It is. So I can definitely see from like a new streamer's perspective, if you haven't been streaming for a long time, um, the streaming space, especially on Twitch, is there's still assholes out there, but with the moderation tools and improvements that they've incrementally made, it's a completely different experience for you here as it was when I first started and it was still like the Wild West. Um, Back then, like a lot of streamers who started with me have a lot of trauma that they carry from like hate raids and harassment that was just running rampant on the site, which still happen. Don't get me wrong. But I don't hear my friends having to deal with it nearly as frequently anymore as we
Mhm.
used to. Um, and then every time as a creator, a new social media site pops up, we have to go through the same cycle again. So I was early on in adopting TikTok and growing that following. And at the time, it had no moderation, and the moderation still isn't great. So I went through the trolling phase on there. Again, when out of nowhere Instagram blew up because I was marketing what I was doing on Twitch on Instagram. Um, I went through another trolling phase with that again. And some of those comments I have saved for you all. So chat, you get a show and tell. Well, not a show and tell, but you get a read and tell. But it's very different from when I started, but it's still not great just because primarily white men are just white men on the internet.
I would also say, like, not on the internet. When I was first starting off, being a
Mhm.
DM and everything, I I before joining Logomancy, I was teaching kids how to like D&D at a
Mhm.
library, which I loved. I loved doing it, but there was so much toxicity. Wow,
Mhm.
English, not my strong suit. And they were just very toxic,
Mhm.
and I decided like I can't work in this environment anymore, and I had to leave that area.
Yeah.
But I completely understand because that was in person. I can't even imagine what they would be like
Oh,
on
they
the
get much
internet.
bolder when they have the safety of a keyboard between them and you, and they can't see the actual reaction. Because like, I've had that too in person, and then, like, like, women are constantly dealing with just the asshole stranger in the grocery store that's just like, "Hey, honey, why don't you smile?" And it's like, "Because I'm trying to figure out which peas can is gonna cost me less if I buy 7 of them. Can you go away? I am doing math, sir."
I have a question.
Yeah.
Um, when addressing some when addressing someone,
Mhm.
no matter how they present,
Yeah.
is using the term "dear" too old-timey,
I hate it.
men or women, like, aside?
I hate any term of familiar. This is a me thing,
Okay.
because I'm neurodivergent and I struggle with like friendship boundaries.
Okay.
So like for a long time growing up, I would think that people were my friends because they would use like terms of endearment just very casually, but it would
Mhm.
turn out that they didn't really like me at all. I was just an annoyance to them.
Oh,
So I hate, and as a creator, you also have to be careful about parasocial relationships and
Yep.
how those grow and develop and stuff and manifest. So like anytime anyone that I'm not actually friends with, be it another creator or someone just like out in the world,
Mhm.
uses like dear, honey, hun, friend, pal, anything that implies like my being like on anything more than an acquaintance to them,
Mhm.
I absolutely hate.
I
I Oh, go ahead.
sorry. I call a lot of my friends like honey bun.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, what you doing, honey bun? You okay?
Yeah,
And
I
that's
I call
something
my friends babe.
yeah,
Yeah.
babe. I call a lot of my friends hoe.
Mhm.
Like, what you doing, hoe?
Yeah.
What is going on, hoe?
I use worse terms for my friends, and we all just do it to one another. But it's different because like those are your friends. Those are
Yeah.
people that you love and like know, and you care about them. But like just some like stranger off the street to be like, "Hey, sweetheart,"
Mhm.
Yeah,
it
that's
No, that's
makes
creepy.
my skin
That's-
crawl.
That's
It's-
like watching Scarface to me. Like
Mhm.
it's dated. Like
Yeah.
and again, not going back to your previous comment, and this is in no way trying to defend white men on the internet. I
No, no, no,
promise.
no. Go for it. Go for it.
No. Um,
Say what you
uh,
gonna say.
twofold. Uh, in being a content creator, I've adopted two things in dealing with folks, and
Mhm.
it's using the term "folks"
Yep.
just
That's a
period,
great one.
because you know what? We're all folk. It's good. It's very inclusive, and I can't think of anybody that it pisses off. And
Mhm.
if I come across somebody that it pisses off, I'll share that it pisses some people off, and we'll fix it. And neighbor, like
Mhm.
I don't want
Neighbor's
to
a good one too.
insinuate that you're my friend by calling you a friend. I mean, I consider you a friend, but you know what I mean. Like
I
randos on the
consider
internet.
you a friend too.
Yeah.
oh,
Uh,
but you're a friend. I want to preference that. You are
yeah.
my friend.
But it's like, hey friend, how's it going? Or hey friend, you
Yeah.
better stop down. Howdy neighbor is totally like
Mhm.
look, if it was good enough for Wilson, it's good enough for me.
Right? God,
Yeah,
I loved Wilson.
and that seems reasonably safe.
Yeah.
Part two of that, I am 100% admittedly guilty of mansplaining, through and through. I have like had people call me on it, and it's not coming from. I have recently come to understand
Mhm.
through therapy and goodness that it's not uh, necessarily just me being an asshole.
Mhm.
It's that I'm autistic
Yeah.
and I am more tolerable with context, and I go out of my way to ensure that I've accurately delivered information in a sound and easily digestible format, which is
Mhm.
exactly what, as my wife puts it, James splaining is.
And I'm betting that's because so many times previously you had been misunderstood or neurotypical implied something that you did not say,
Uh-huh.
but they twisted your words. Yeah, no, I'm going through my own journey with getting diagnosed for autism. My therapist keeps telling me that I don't need to take any more online tests, that I am. But until I have the little certificate or whatever you get
Yeah.
after the 3 days of testing, my brain won't register that I actually am for sure. But yeah, and also it's a very we were talking about ADHD. It's a very ADHD thing to respond in acknowledging someone else's story with a story of your own. So if you were talking about like getting a parking ticket, like it's a very ADHD for me to be like, oh yeah, gosh, one time I got a parking ticket when I was out of town and blah blah blah, and this happened, and
Whoa, Sarah, this isn't about you.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Neurotypicals don't understand it. So that's one of those things for me that I don't have many neurotypical friends anymore.
Mhm.
And I completely understand now, and I'm very comfortable with the people I'm around, like doing those sorts of things
Yeah.
because they understand that's how I communicate, and I understand how they communicate. I'll give an example of I hope she's not watching because I'm going to talk about one of my very best friends, Jen. Um, she will go on an info dump
Mhm.
about something. She's one of my very best friends, and anyone who looks at us when we are talking to one another and I need her to stop overloading my brain with information will think I am the biggest asshole when I look at her dead in the eyes and say, "Jen, I need you to stop. I can't do this right now." But she
Yes.
knows because we've been friends for so long and she knows how my neurodivergent brain works that when I say that, it's because I need to circle back to whatever she's trying to tell me. She's not giving me enough time to process.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I
Absolutely.
totally get it. I don't think you've explained a lot of things to me, but I wouldn't ever count anything that you said to me as mansplaining.
No, to be honest, sometimes you explain things to me and I'm just standing there like a deer in the headlights and I'm just like, could
Mhm.
you explain more what I'm
Yeah.
supposed
Could
to
you
do?
could you go slower?
Elaborate. I
I have a
have
tiny
notes.
goldfish brain and it's full of scrambled eggs. Can you please go slower, James?
Yeah. Well, and I'm conscious of this, and I try to. I always catch it after the fact, and I'm like, oh,
Uh-huh.
I've sent the last 7 messages in a row in our conversation. I should wait.
I I should wait. I want that as a shirt. I should
I
wait.
I should wait. Um,
I've sent 7 messages. I should wait now.
we've joked about so a good majority of the
Mhm.
folks uh, at Logomancy are also neurodivergent in
Mhm.
some
Hi.
flavor packet or another.
Uh-huh.
And we've joked at times. So we have a tendency to be very super understanding about mental health
Mhm.
struggles and very understanding about things like you're burnt out. You need to take time. Deadlines don't matter anymore. Like do it,
Yeah.
go. And it's sometimes detrimental. And
Mhm.
I'm guilty of this more than anyone else. Where it's like I don't have any spoons. I'm not getting this done.
Mhm.
Like deadlines that I've set are not being met. And David and I have joked that we need a Steve, just a neurotypical, wears a gray suit Steve that shows up 9 to
See,
5 and just works and
I
meets all the
completely
deadlines
disagree with that. Okay, so
for things that don't need to be creative.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um I still disagree with that because one of the things that I have learned, and it takes a lot of time unpacking in therapy. Shout out to Brian, my therapist, who's never going to see this, but I'm gonna shout him out anyways.
Never hire people
Um,
named Steve. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate your insight.
yeah.
God, I gotta
But
tell my friend Steve he's out of a job.
but we are in a capitalist society, which
Yes.
is built by neurotypicals for neurotypicals. But the neurodivergent brain doesn't work in the same way. And while we do need structure, the structure that we need is so vastly different that when we do have to function in that 9 to 5, go, 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 adhere to that rigid structure, we burn out.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I have learned through a lot through my time in the TTRPG space actually is I have spent enough times working with just like guesting on other channels that claimed to be like run by neurodivergence for neurodivergence that still fell into that capitalist cycle of the show has to happen and the show has to happen and the schedule has to be adhered to and the schedule is like it was so rigid that you just saw one after another neurodivergent player after neurodivergent player drop out because life happens.
Yeah.
And there was no room made for understanding that your neurodivergent players, they may need longer breaks and you can't predict what their burnout would be. So you have to be more flexible when you're both a neurodivergent creator and you're a neurodivergent like channel runner working with other
Mhm.
neurodivergents.
Did I ever share the stream schedule with you? It's like it's posted in our Discord somewhere, but
I look, I joined your Discord, but I
I
the only thing
understand.
I yeah, like
I get it. I get it.
yeah, just like,
I
yes, Sarah, I know. I'm in
I
37
I
Discords
get
myself.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm finally down to under 50.
I'm not.
Um, yeah, it's still a lot.
So
I'm
I
not active in any of them.
purged this weekend and I am down to 7.
I
Hell
realized
yeah.
after starting medication for
Mhm.
ADHD, I was catching myself on muscle memory because I could finally focus on tasks. Where
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I catch myself alt tabbing to go and check Discord for stuff,
Uh-huh.
even though there wasn't Discord installed on the computer I was working on. And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Hand, stop it." Like, and I'm like, I'm working on spreadsheets.
Uh-huh.
There's like data to crunch. And I started looking at the 106 Discord servers that I have neatly filed into different relevant folders to each other.
Mhm.
And I need to purge because
Yeah.
I sometimes have one thing to say in any one of them at any given time.
I've gotten a lot better as things have gone on about because I mean like every time you join like another channel for like doing something, oh gosh. Something you should know about me is that hops make me burp a lot.
Good noise
Um,
gating.
That was good. That was very
okay,
good.
good.
Thank you, Roadcaster.
Thanks, Roadcaster. Thank you for suggesting the Roadcaster.
It's just good.
It is good. It is good. Everyone get yourself Rode products. They're great.
Not yet a sponsor. Soon.
Should be. With as many times as I've heard you plug Rode, you should be. What was I talking about?
Speaking of neurodivergence,
Joining Discord
Joining
servers.
Discord servers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, so in the TTRPG space, everyone makes a new Discord server for every event, for every channel, for every game. And I've gotten in the habit because I know that I'll be active as long as I'm in something on the channel. So I've just gotten in the habit of just like telling people up front because I used to feel so guilty leaving servers. I'm like, look, I will join for the duration of the show, but you're either going to go into a I'm never touching this again folder unless I get the notification that someone's added me,
Mhm.
or I'm going to step out of the server until you need me to come back in again. But I can't be in 100 servers and manage them all the time.
You know,
I can't do it.
anytime that I should make a list on our Discord of folks that are in that scenario, because we do have a bunch of folks that are just they're
Mhm.
part-time essentially.
Yeah.
Or a specific role of like not checking the server on a regular basis so I can
Mhm.
at whenever a new pitch comes in to
Mhm.
see if there's something that you want to participate in. Because
Yeah,
all the other at players just it
that's why
gets
I
lost.
suggested for the charity event that we're both a part of. That's why I suggested doing the specific what people want to volunteer for roles that could be
Mhm.
added.
Yeah.
Because you are competing for attention with so many things in a person's life.
Mhm.
You have to make it as easy as possible for them to be notified for the things that they want to partake in. My private server, I used to do that, but then I took it private and I put it behind my Patreon paywall. So I kind of did away with that because the people that stuck around to be a part of that, like they're the ride or dies. Like they're showing
Mhm.
up to everything. I just need to let them know that I'm live somewhere and they come and hang out with me. But originally, like I had stuff for like when I post on social media, there was a special at for it. When I went live on Twitch, there was a special at when specific shows that I was doing on Twitch were live.
Mhm.
Because at one point, there was one point in baby creator Sarah's career where she was doing like 6 shows a week and sometimes they were doubled up on days.
Mhm.
Don't do that. Don't
That's
ever do that. Listen to
that's
me
too
now.
much.
If you are out there, do not do that. Give yourself time to rest. Trust me, you will burn out like I did for 3 months.
I will take that advice to heart.
Yeah.
Speaking of rest,
I respect the rest time.
for when we were laying out the stream schedule, it
Uh-huh.
was Melissa and I originally. Oh, there's
Oh.
another dollar in the jar.
Oh,
That's all good.
we're really good for an hour. It's
Go for
being
it.
finicky. All right, ready for some close eye shot, guys?
There it is.
Hell yeah.
Right on the cheek.
Someone gift that for later.
Yes.
Oh no, there are zoom in eye shots every Wednesday in most, even if it's the most emotional things. My camera knows, and we'll just automatically go, yeah, let's get some comedy going right now.
Oh yeah, we got to get you a new webcam.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
So when Melissa and I were laying out the schedule, we run Logomancy like a neurotypical business the majority of the time, in that there is a process for everything. There's a spreadsheet with an operations manual, scheduling spreadsheets where everything is clearly laid out, and there's no excuse because it's clearly laid out in following exactly the right process for things, because this is my job and it's what I
Yeah.
do and it's how my brain works. But I also have a family, and I value all of the time that I get to spend with my family, which admittedly sometimes is not a lot because we're trying to grow a business and we're also running a full-time gig of like day work. But every single long weekend that we have, which is about one a month, because we stream on Mondays, we don't stream those Mondays because there's an understanding that if I want to go camping or go away with my family for a long weekend, chances are the other people that are a part of our server probably will as well.
Yep.
And even if we did stream on a long weekend, probably not going to be to a whole lot of people because people are going to be away spending time with their families and doing things. and that's been a reasonably good layout for Mondays. Doesn't help the Wednesday crew though. That every
Hi.
Wednesday, just like
Hi.
no long
See,
weekends.
see, when I had 2 shows running, I would do the same thing because I had I'm not doing it right now because everyone's pretty much good to go for Thursday nights right now. But when we have
Mhm.
our Sunday game, um, which is on hiatus because my neurodivergent GM needed a longer break than normal, so we're on hiatus until we come back. Um, one of the players is a LARPer. She and her husband also are podcasters. To have and to roll. If you're interested in LARP, I highly recommend checking them out. They're in the UK and they go to, I think it's the world's largest LARP, Empire LARP, or it's the
Cool.
largest LARP over there. I'm not quite sure. It's huge. It's massive. I am dying to go. I'm gonna make it happen next year.
I just would like
Um,
to go just to like see all of them just I would just be there with the camera and be like, this is amazing.
A-
it
Allison,
is amazing.
Yes.
I'll share some of the photos that she posts on social media, but it like fully decked out. She's been a competitive cosplayer before, so like
Mhm.
she has she is out there in a wig that is fully done up with makeup, and like her armor is just mwah, chef's kiss.
I have a
Um,
hard time with that kind of stuff because it's like uh, sometimes there's a difference in the quality and the skill that it comes for putting a costume
mhm.
together. But it's like people that evaluate art. It's like this painting is obviously better than that painting, and it's like, look, both of these people in like cosplay armor, dressed as like
Uh-huh.
wizard knights, look fucking cool to me. I
Uh-huh.
don't know. You
Yeah,
both
no.
get lollipops. Like,
As far as her experience with Empire goes, like everyone there is super like ready to like pitch in. Like if you don't have something, you can borrow something for the weekend. So I don't
mhm,
think anyone really needs to worry about like there's a network that you can work through
mhm,
to find what you need to borrow for the weekend. But anyways, she had for like every other weekend in the summertime, like she had to go away for the weekend because she was out LARPing for the whole
yep.
weekend. And like that's part of like her and her husband's job is to do like that. And they do a big recap of what they experienced at the game. And sometimes they're a part of the main plot. So like they can't talk about it, but there's other things they can talk about.
Mhm.
Um and so we had to make time for that because she'd be gone Sunday. So at the time when that would be off, I would just say, you know what? I'm just gonna take the whole week off, guys. And I would also put my Thursday show on hiatus, so I just had a week where I could just relax once a month. It was
I like it.
fantastic.
Well,
Speaking of
going
relaxing,
oh,
Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
how's your Oberon?
it's good.
I I say that because I've had you doing the most talking, which is the
Yeah.
least amount of beer drinking.
Does that mean I need to chug it?
No, of course
No,
not.
no, do
Okay.
not chug your beer.
But for Allison, while Sarah has a drink, are you coming to the Renaissance Festival in High River?
Okay, here's the thing. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. So, huh? There's
Okay.
a what now? And I would like the information of that as soon as possible because I
Um,
really want to go to a Renaissance fair.
it is on June 29th. It's the High River Medieval Festival.
I will be
Um,
there in full plague doctor get up. You will not find me. I will find you.
it'll be
Um,
I think it's the first of its kind because we live in Alberta,
and there are
and
no Renaissance fairs in
there's
Alberta.
there's a whole lot of conservative politics and not a whole lot of like cool LARP stuff. There are groups, there are cool events. Sometimes they are 4 hours apart from each other because that's how we measure distance in Canada is by hours, not by like miles. Miles are
It's
weird.
true. I can't tell you how far Edmonton is from here, but I can tell you it's 3 hours away.
Yeah, two
Amazing.
and a half on a good day. It's because we all know how fast somebody's driving.
That's fair.
Like
James, if you're doing
minimum.
it in 2.5s, you are not going the speed limit, my friend.
No, no, but when somebody tells you that they made it in 2.5, you know how fast they were driving. Yeah, we're taking the kids. You're welcome to tag along with us, Allison. It'll be a good time. Amanda's
I'll
gonna
go.
wear like a corset thing. It's gonna be great.
I have like 8 corsets. I will wear one of them. But I
Mhm.
would like to jump back to because we were talking about cosplay, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of fangirling right now because I've been following the Hype Goblin and all like, ha, and that was weird. I've been watching all your like your character
Mhm.
creation, your costumes and everything, and they're so detailed and the costumes fit the characters so well. And I would love that you deep more into that for this because I would
Yeah.
love to hear how your reasoning for like my favorite thing that I've seen you wear is the mushroom hat. The mushroom hat, if anyone doesn't know, um Sarah runs a TikTok and she has characters, and the characters are always beautiful costume. That this hat I'm obsessed with, and I want one so badly. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful, and it is my
This is my
favorite
pride
thing.
and joy.
Yeah, it's my favorite when I see it, I'm like, "It's the mushroom hat, I love the mushroom hat."
Yeah, so I've been sewing since I was 5, actually. My grandmother used to take care of me during the day, and she is an avid sewer. She quilts, and she makes these beautiful masterpieces out of fabric. And when I was a little kid, I kept hounding her because I wanted to do what Grammy was doing. So, when I was about 5, I was 5 or 6 years old, and she said, "Okay, here's 2 pieces of scrap fabric. Here's a thimble. We're gonna go really slow." And that led to me creating my first little quilt, which was about, 9 they're called fat quarters of fabric. It was about 9 of those, with a 1-inch border, and, then she bound it for me, but I sewed it all by hand, and
Oh.
ever since I've been sewing. When I was old enough, she let me, sew on her sewing machine, which has since become my sewing machine.
Oh.
So I've been working with fabrics and textiles for a really, really long time. I credit her with developing my eye for color, essentially. And from there, I went into theater where I learned a lot about costuming from the different costumers I got to work with. And occasionally I got to make bits of my costume and learn from there. And so when I was knee deep in the pandemic, as many people were, I got bored and I relied on those skills to keep me from going crazy in my little Nashville house. And so the first costume that I made was Delilah's. I sourced a lot of her original costume from Amazon and then altered it so that it properly fit me, first of all, because nothing off the rack fits me right.
Me neither.
And and
Me 3, you gotta do a lot of sewing.
yeah, vanity sizing in mass-produced garments is horrible, and I could go all day on that. So I edited a lot of what she was wearing, and built her up over time first. She was my first character that I really did, and that was solely just for my own personal entertainment for a home D&D game that no one was watching. It was just a bunch of friends hanging out, and I decided that I wanted to show up in a costume one week. And I had also gone to beauty school right before the pandemic, so I had gotten a fantastic education from my fellow students, who were already making wigs as like a side hustle on how to make a wig, how to style a wig. And I had worked with a gentleman in Nashville um, who was well known in the country music industry for his work with hair extensions. He had his own line and everything, and he at one point he like went and added extensions to all of Dolly Parton's wigs so that her wigs got updated, but they didn't like they still maintained their shape and everything blended properly.
Shout
Um,
out Dolly Parton.
yeah.
Um, she's fucking amazing and sends
Mhm.
my children books every month.
Oh, cool! You're a part of that program.
Yeah,
That's
there's
Oh,
so
that's
there is
cool.
really cool.
She has
any
done so much as far as children's literacy goes. It's
yeah,
astounding.
any person. I don't know. Like it works in Canada, it works in the
Mhm.
states. I think it's international. Can go to the Dolly Parton Foundation. I want to say.
Mhm.
If you Google Dolly Parton gives books to kids, you'll find it.
Yeah.
You can sign up, and every month until they turn 5, they'll get a new book in the mail.
Yeah, she is
Yeah.
she is really cool. She has done a lot, for children all over the world, a lot for the community of Sevierville, which is a very small community
Mhm.
in, East Tennessee, but a beautiful vacation spot, so I suggest checking it out if you ever wanna go. Love the Rocky Mountains. But, yeah, so Delilah was the first one, And then I made Lowry next because I was cast in a Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign.
Mhm.
And that was at the very start of the mushroom hat trend. This was before all of the mushroom hat girlies had their mushroom hats on TikTok. I saw maybe like one or two other folks on. This was like in early days of TikTok too, when it was blowing up for everybody. I saw maybe one or two other people that had mushroom hats before they started like just being so commonplace at like Ren fairs and everything. And hers was, again, the base hat is a knit hat that I sourced from Amazon.
Mhm.
And from there, I hand stitched the pleating underneath,
Mhm.
so no one will ever see my stitching on the inside. And if you ask me if I'm wearing it at a convention, I will say, "Oh hell no, I'm not showing you that." It is incredibly embarrassing. But the real magic for her hat came in the felting of the wool that I used um, for her spots. So all of these wool spots are hand felted into the knit hat, which essentially is taking what's called wool roving, which is wool that has been not been spun into knitting yarn yet. And you take that and you do a lot of really small layers with a very sharp needle. And you poke it in. And so I think people have asked me to make them this hat. And I always have to tell them no because this is about 3 days of 8 hours of work a day,
Yeah.
to make this hat, and
And it's
no,
one of a kind.
it is one of a kind. I have told other people, there are hat makers on Etsy that will make similar things, and I told people, like, "You're welcome to show my costuming work to hat makers and have them make you something similar. Please don't, like, directly copy it."
Mhm.
But, like, if I were to sell this, um this would probably be, like, upwards of $800 worth of just
Time
time
and effort.
spent, not including the materials.
Mhm.
And then everything else around the brim is just, I think I whip stitched the ribbon and the leather banding on, which is just cheap leather banding from Joann's. That's just whip stitched on and then glued down in its final position, and then everything else is just it's just glued on the side.
Joanne's is like a Michaels or something?
Yeah. So Joanne Fabric is apparently filing for bankruptcy. Michaels might actually buy them. But yeah, they're like the chain fabric store in
Like
the US.
Fabergland kinda deal.
Sure. I don't know what that is, but yes.
That's like Canadian chain fabric
Oh, that
stores.
is.
Fabergland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the place that all the little old ladies go to work so they can get the discount for their own sewing
Oh,
project.
100%
Yeah.
Fabricland.
That's
That's just
Fabricland.
Fabricland.
Yeah. So yeah, it's it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was necessarily hard to make. It was just incredibly time consuming to make, but I'm really happy with how that came out overall. Um and
She would
then
probably be my favorite character just because I love the design and it's always
she's
so cute.
she is one of my favorite characters. Our Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign was supposed to be this lighthearted campaign, and it's the only campaign where I have ever cried on stream.
Oh.
Full on bawling my eyes out. We had such a phenomenal cast for that. It's over on, for anyone who's interested in watching I think it's 32 episodes, and they're about 3 hours a piece with breaks. It was run by Simon, who runs the Indoor Adventures channel, who is a phenomenal GM and storyteller. He was my very first GM ever, and
Oh.
I absolutely love him for that. And he ran us through a campaign where we had, spoiler alert, close your ears if you plan on going and watching it, but we had a player die to one of the hags. I think it was the second time we went up against a hag. Um, he died, and there was no way that we could, as players, save him because he died in a way that our characters would have absolutely no idea
Yeah.
until we finished the fight, and he failed. That character, he failed all of his death saves, and the player who was running them, they were just they were absolutely phenomenal, and they just said, "He's gone. It's a better story if
Yeah.
they're gone." So they came back with a a equally fantastic character. So we went through an episode of grieving it, and then at the very end, the entire push for that campaign was to get Pampherdam back, because we knew that we would get them back if we got to the end. Because if you get to the end, like that's you can essentially ask for anything of the person that you're going to save at the end. I won't spoil who it is for those who
Yeah.
haven't done Witchlight yet. And when we got to the end, that NPC offered to bring a person back. However, in the final fight to get to that NPC, another party member had died. So at the very end, we had to make this choice. And Lowry was the only character who caught on to the fact that that character was dying. She was with him
Mhm.
in his final moments as he essentially disintegrated and pulled a "I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark" moment on me.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It was horrible. So he was disintegrating. We had this other friend that we wanted to bring them back. And our fellow player had been playing this very like paternal father figure, who was very just kind and understanding and like go with the flow. But at the very end, we got the option to talk to that character who had died and say, and like, because we were so conflicted as the two players who were left, like, what do we do?
Mhm.
And Media Flare, they were absolutely wonderful. That's the person who played both Pampherdam and the character that came after Pampherdam, and essentially like had this really heartfelt conversation with me and the other player in character that they were okay now. They were happy where they were. They were taking care of the kids on the other side, making toys for them.
Mhm.
Go save Vice. He needs
Oh.
you.
I love it.
Yeah. So it is a rough final episode. I can't go back and watch it.
Oh.
I still
This
cannot go back and watch it. But she has a massive place in my heart, because her something that doesn't really get picked up on by people on social media is that her mushrooms talk to her. Um,
I love that. That's
Lowry,
such a cute little thing.
we did the
Lowry,
same we did the same thing in our Naylor adventure.
yeah,
Melissa
Lowry.
Melissa was playing a druid, lived in a mushroom.
Mhm.
The mushroom's name is Tim. And Tim would be like, "I made you tea. Here you go, bud." And just like
Yeah.
Tim's always
It
around.
wasn't that cottagecore of me.
Oh.
It
Oh
was a little
no.
bit
No,
edgelord.
this was much more cottagecore.
Lowry was at the time a hag in training. So I essentially
Love
based her
it.
off of Clarence the Angel from Miracle on 34th Street. She had to
Yeah.
complete so many deals before she could officially become a hag.
Yeah.
But the way she became a hag is in her great moment of need, another hag came and rescued her.
Oh.
But the cost of that was that Lowry ended up killing her original party because they were hurting
Oh.
people and she stood up to them.
Oh, I see.
So the mushrooms on her hat, there is one for every party member that she killed.
Oh, that's actually really
sick.
cool.
And
That's a really cool
throughout the
little
entire campaign, and I don't recommend ever doing this unless you have very strong safety tools at your table going on and a GM
Mhm.
who is 100% in tune with the story you're trying to tell. But her story is very much one of mental health and self-loathing, and so throughout the campaign, her mushrooms talked to her and told her it was all her fault. She was horrible. And so when we did lose Pampherdam, there is another there. I think it's maybe like second to last episode where something happens and she's going through that negative self feedback loop where she's hearing those voices of her dead party members again in her head. And Pampherdam's voice came through loud and clear, telling them to leave her alone.
Oh.
Oh, that makes me tear up. That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
That clip is on social media. I'm incredibly sunburnt in it. Please don't comment on that portion of it. But
I'm gonna just text, be like, "Why is there a tomato on the screen? What happened?"
but
What'd you
I can
do?
send you a link to that one later if you want a good cry.
Yeah.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
because I love a good cry. Like
There's
especially when it's
yeah.
a character where you like bond with the whole time.
Absolutely.
Two
But she is one of my favorite characters I think I've ever played.
two comments on that. One, we'll circle around to comments on the internet.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Second, this is why we roll death saves privately between the DM and the
Oh,
player.
it's
Oh, I
so
can't do that.
No,
heartbreaking.
we
It's
have
so
to.
Do it.
heartbreaking.
It so we made the switch I want to say a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
and it removes that immersive. You want to be
Yeah.
into it. And there is something pre-programmed about the gamification of what you're doing
Mhm.
when you see those dice rolls. And it's like, no, you have to spend your turn correcting the mechanical aspect of the game. And
Mhm.
when it's private, it's a purely role-playing aesthetic choice of, do I care enough about my friend right now to rush to them? Or do I
Mhm.
think that they're strong enough and they'll be okay and I can get off another fireball? Right? Like
Mhm.
it's entirely in the character's motivations rather than the player's nagging, like, what's the optimized decision we should do here? Right?
Yeah.
It is a great mechanic and I love it, but at the same time, I
You
hate
kill a
it.
lot of
Mhm.
people.
You
You
kill
kill a
a
Yeah.
lot
lot
of
of
people.
people.
I was
Yeah.
playing as one of my favorite characters, and I had to roll privately. And at one point, he's like, "Okay, keep rolling," and I'm like, "Do I have to? My character is dead." They were revived, but I was like, what
Mhm.
do? Am I rolling for just
Some of
giggles now?"
and honestly, the people
I
I play with they don't really metagame it
Mhm.
at all. Like with Pamferdam, there was no way for us to
Yeah.
to do anything about it. So like we made the decisions that we would have made in that moment, knowing that our characters wouldn't do anything,
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to do anything. Um, but like some of my favorite moments in games have come from my characters dying and
Yeah.
sometimes being brought back.
It is the
It's
most
Slightly
fantastic.
different.
beautiful and I would say beautiful and more narrative point of
Mhm.
D&D because you go through a lot of like your characters' last moments, what they're thinking, and if they brought back, you see like, oh, you have like this moment like you're either in heaven or you're seeing like a loved
Mhm.
one or seeing all that, and it just touches and makes you bond more with that character
Mhm.
personally, I find, which I love.
Absolutely. We
I've
had
always
go ahead.
I was gonna say I've always adopted the uh like a kintsugi style,
Mhm.
where, oh, you've died with a massive axe blow to the neck and you were revivified and it consumes a bunch of diamonds, and now where that line is, it's just glittering as though you were put back together with diamond and gold.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
Oh, I
I love
And
love
that.
that
like
idea.
healing magic isn't just like, oh, you're perfect again, here you go.
Mhm.
The blow's still there, the
I
scars exist.
I really dislike when healing magic, like, fully heals
Yeah,
a character.
well, and
My
nothing ever
changeling
says it
Lucy
does.
yeah, my changeling Lucy, she doesn't show her true face because she is so horrifically scarred from things that went on in her backstory. Because I filled it with trauma. Surprise, surprise.
We gotta get
Trauma.
back to that.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, I don't think I told you the full story for her, but she grew up in, essentially she was stolen from the Feywild. She doesn't know this, but I know this as the person who, like, okayed it and ran it by the GM and the rest of the party. But she was essentially stolen by the Feywild by a criminal organization because they wanted to push the bounds of what can a shapeshifter do that's
Mhm,
just essentially born to shapeshift. So there was essentially she has the ability narratively, we don't put mechanics on it really. But she has the ability narratively, unlike other changelings who can only copy faces that they see, she can art she can create whatever she imagines because of
mhm,
what this group put her through. And part of that was when she couldn't change her face, um, there were severe consequences that left her face scarred. So she
mhm,
might change her face, her true face. She actually has a huge scar that goes from like the top of her forehead, like down across her face,
mhm.
that she's very self-conscious about. And she has other bodily scars as well. But I have always been one for if the character takes massive damage, there's gonna be something left behind there. It's not just perfect skin again.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You need to, get out of my head because I
Get
son
out
of a
my
bitch.
head.
I've got
One brain cell.
a very specific design, aspect that matches
Mhm.
that for another character that I played called
Yeah,
Sabrina.
yeah.
Just 100%. And
It's like you guys are friends or something.
funny how that works.
Huh.
It's like all people who are neurodivergent just share the same 5 brain cells between each other.
Apparently.
True. So you have it from 9 to 10 today, and I have
Mhm.
it from 9 to 10 tomorrow. Isn't that right? We're switching it.
I don't need
I'll
it
get back
next
to you.
week. I just
Oh,
need for
oh,
like 5 minutes tomorrow, and then I'm good.
Got it. I'll take it for next week. If
Cool.
it comes back damaged, is that okay?
It
How's
was
that beer?
undamaged.
How's that beer?
It's great.
Great. So
It's
It's a
good.
little warm. I think
So
we're just gonna chug it and get rid
I'm
of
gonna
it.
I'm gonna segue us a little bit here. Sarah brought to my attention and got us involved in the Pride Revolution. It's a group of content creators that are getting together to support the Trans Empowerment Project. As you can see on our doobly doo here, just below Sarah's face, we've got a poorly
I-
cropped image. That's the result of my poorly cropped skills. It's the other way, actually, Allison, on stream.
God, you flipped me and you don't tell me. It's that way, guys.
It's that way.
You
Yeah,
know what? I'm just pointing to my dog.
there it is. I love it. So for half of May and the entirety of June, Logan Mancy is going to be running almost every Monday night a different one shot with various queer and trans creators from across the internet, representing a whole bunch of really cool folks. Neon's going to be running a handful of games too, and I'll be running a few on Tuesdays and participating on some on Sarah's channel, and a few on I think it's Tall Tale Hearts I'm going to be playing on, and
Telltale Hearts. Yep.
Telltale Hearts.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that makes a whole lot more sense in my head because I'm like, oh, yeah. But yeah, there's a schedule that's linked on our Discord if you want to check it out. Share with your friends, and if it is not going to cause you hardship, take a look at donating something because we're putting in some cool rewards that will hurt me. That'll be a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that one chip challenge.
It's a thing.
Look, for $500.
Wait, which
For
channel
five-
is that? Because I will be.
That's when you're on my channel, right?
Both.
Oh, Sarah,
Do it on mine because I want to see it.
Okay.
500.
Yeah, I want to see it too. 500. I can make that work.
Yeah. That's
I
for
can't
the
really,
Tales
but
of the
I'll
Loop
find
game,
other
I
people
believe.
to donate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we hit $500 on Sarah's channel while I'm on stream, I will eat the one chip challenge and continue playing my hick and continue on stream as though nothing is wrong.
And you're also offering to GM some games for people if they donate $100, right?
Yeah, so I've got a few things in there where I'll run some one shots on Start Playing for free, like for 4 people, a donator and a group of their friends. That's priced at $100, and I've got some voiceover stuff for $50. So if people need dialogue or intro outro sequences, any dialogue or monologue read out in a professional capacity. Another buck for the there it is. There's that box.
Yep, 100%. This donation's gonna. And it's the box. And the
It is
only
the
way to get
box.
rid of it is the Zoom.
Yeah, it is.
It's the box of doom.
You might be
okay?
able to just bump the lens for a moment to get rid of it too. But anyways, so yeah, we're running that for all of half of May, all of June, and it's going to be a good time. So check out our Discord and Sarah's Discord if you're a Patreon or a patron. I don't use Patreon, so I'm not sure the terminology for it these days.
Patron. Yeah.
Patron.
If for folks in my Discord server, I will be very vocal about it. I already have been. They've been listening to me just going, what the hell did I get myself into planning another charity event? But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. This is very similar to the one that both of us participated in January, which was run by Run DMG for Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to see people come together in this way. I myself just signed up for another game, and I think I'm gonna run a second game. am waiting to see what I want to sign up for as a player, but it's a lot of fun to just donate my time, both as a player, as a GM, and as a producer. There's shows on my channel I'm not playing in your game. I'm really excited to just sit back and produce and help you all raise money as a
Mhm.
table. I don't know about you, but my happy space is when I'm producing something.
Me too. I like just being able to participate in chat and just like
Uh-huh.
I play wingman best. Like
Oh, me too.
I love being on camera. I love putting on a production and running a show.
Mhm.
I adore getting to be a player and not having to do that stuff too.
Oh my god, that's a dream.
But sometimes like in the big role of film hats, producer is where I sit. I will
Mhm.
facilitate everything happening. I will solve the problems and I will be the set daddy. Like I got this, right?
I'm in
That's a t-shirt we
training.
need. I
Yeah,
need that
set
shirt
daddy,
too.
just set daddy, set mommy, set non-binary.
Yeah.
I to be honest, I'm in training, so
Mhm.
I've been filming yesterday and today in my room, and I'm gonna be learning how to do editing, and then slowly I've been told that I might need to start GMing. So I'm like, cool,
Hey, one
yay.
step at a time and you'll
Yeah.
get there. I had none of the content creator skills before I started, and I have literally learned everything that I know from either YouTube or from my friends, who have been doing this longer than I have.
Oh, James gives me homework, and I have to be tested.
Hey,
And
hey,
you know
hey,
when you
you're ma-
leave school and then you're like, oh, test anxiety, that's gone. And then James is like, here's some more homework. And you're like, oh shit.
back that like neurodivergent ass up for a second here. Hold on 1 second because
I do
what
ask for the homework.
what I
I'm
actually
only
do is holy shit, look at this. Crash Course did an entire like
Mhm.
film series on film production start to finish and what everybody does and they're in really digestible little like cutesy infographic videos. Here's the
which
playlist.
if anyone is trying to get into this is just a
Yeah,
free thing.
that's
We're not
great.
Mhm.
sponsored. It's a great video. Like I was
No, no.
watching it, I was listening, and it was amazing. It was fantastic for me to understand the inner workings of everything. Give it a watch. You won't regret it.
Mhm.
But I'll send things and be like, "Oh, hey, here's a really good resource." It's not like there will be a test after. Like, you're a monster.
I'm not the monster, you are.
Yeah, so much of my creator journey, I don't know if this is the same for y'all, but so much of my creator journey has been trying different things and failing at them miserably.
Oh, 100. I had a baking type style because I am known as Geek Baker everywhere.
Uh-huh.
I'm starting to bring back my baking. I'm gonna try to bring back my baking streams, which I I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna try to do that.
I
I
believe
got
in
you covered.
you.
You got me covered.
I
Okay,
have mics and clamps.
I heard a little snippet from your beautiful, beautiful white James that you don't like buttercream. You don't like cream cheese icing.
All right.
That's fair.
Your
That's fair.
facts are wrong. Your facts are wrong. I
My
love
facts are wrong.
I love cream cheese icing. I'm not a huge fan of cream cheese. Like cream cheese on bagels and stuff, not my jam. I prefer just like butter. Butter's fine. That's good for me.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, that that's all. Buttercream is fine, but I'm more of a like a white icing kind of fan.
Yeah, you
I'm
want the
not a cake
Sobeys
person.
margarine. I'm not a cake person either. I love
Yeah.
pies, tarts.
Mhm.
Those are where I go.
Flapper pie and strawberry rhubarb pie are my jams.
Strawberry.
Oh, I have a friend who has a strawberry rhubarb garden growing right now, and I am gonna
Me,
steal some of the rhubarb.
that's me.
Tangent. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
I'm like, ooh, now I want to make strawberry rhubarb squares. Ooh.
In the same vein,
Hang on, let me look
before
up what plane tickets are.
You know
uh,
what? I will ship them to you. Do you know how fast shipping is right now? My friend made
Really?
a 5 loaves of sourdough bread, sent it to their family, and it got there. They sent it on Sunday. It got there today.
nice
Yeah,
2 days.
you can be one of the few people that has my home address if you're gonna send me sweets. Hell
I'm
yeah.
gonna just be like, What's going on? I have too much sweets. Would you like to take them off my hands? I had to do that the other day because I was doing a wedding and I made way too much mini cupcakes. And I just went on my group chat of all my group chats of all my friends and be like, hey, I have mini cupcakes. Can someone take them and get them out of the fuck out of my house? I do
Allison?
not need them. I didn't ask you.
I didn't
It's
get any mini
buttercream.
cupcakes.
It's buttercream. I asked your wife beforehand and it was buttercream. And I got told he doesn't like buttercream. And I'm like, all right, I will
Oh
not ask James.
no.
But I
She's-
did make special lemon curd. And then I folded it into Italian buttercream, not American buttercream. And I was told you don't like buttercream. So I was like, I'm not going to ask James then because I don't want to be.
You could have asked me. I would have said yes.
But you don't like buttercream. If I was
It's
going to make
fine.
you something, it would be
It's
something
fine. I
good.
would have eaten it. I would have gotten fat. It's great.
And
I
it's
would have been
gluten
so
free.
beer.
happy.
Roll again. Roll again. Roll
Yeah.
again for beer. I'm out too.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that
No,
was
you're
a three
not.
again.
You liar.
There we go.
No, I can't
I
get
would-
another 3. It's gone. I have rolled 3 times in a row.
You just count up and start again until you've hit the number.
Oh, but that's the Stella. That's the biggest one.
D-
I don't
all right,
wanna
I
do
want you to
that.
count from the going right to left.
Going right.
Going right to left.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, I'm
okay,
drinking
so
this.
that means it's the shortest one. So this
Okay.
one is the this is actually really good. I've had this before. It's another small brewery, Shorts Brewing.
Mhm.
It's the Nitro Super Delicious Irish Stout, ultra creamy Irish style stout. And I really like their, I don't know if you can see the labeling, but they have this really cute retro labeling.
Oh,
Nice.
I love that. That kind of gives me what's the vibe? I remember it like coming down. It was like the green neon in the back. It's gonna
Mhm.
drive me crazy all day.
It
'cause I
reminds
know what
it
is.
reminds me of like a jukebox at a bowling alley.
And I think this one does distribute to Canada.
Excellent.
If
I'm doing the Flyboats Brewery.
hmm
Beautiful label. It's called Juice Box Hazel Ale. It's from the East Coast, like me.
Nice.
So I don't think it might be a fruit beer. It says juice box, but it doesn't classify if it's a fruit beer or not. Oh, here we go. East Coast Haze Ale with refreshing, juicy flavor, fruity flavor and aroma. And it's from New Brunswick.
I love it. All right. Everybody ready to crack?
Hold on. I've got Asymmetrical Brewing's Cream Ale Resurrection. And it's
Ooh.
got an agora with a still on legs with a smiley face and corn popping out of it on
What?
the can.
Oh,
It
it's not
is.
focusing.
It is not
Wait.
focusing in
Oh
any way,
my-
shape, or form.
No,
But it's.
I
I'll-
want to
I'll-
see that
I'll
art.
post
You
a picture in the
guys-
Discord.
Yeah.
This is a cream ale. We're breathing life into this North American original, first created to mimic the German lagers unavailable to European immigrants flooded into the Americas. Psst, the secret ingredient is corn. It's got the juice.
All right.
Right.
All right.
3, 2,
Oh.
1.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's on my desk pad now. That's fine.
Premature cornulation.
I don't know how I feel about the smell.
There we go. As I wait for the head to subside, because this is technically a whiskey snifter glass. The only editing skills that I came into being a content creator with, I could work a camera reasonably well because I had like
Mhm.
a couple of years in new media classes through university, and a handy cam that we used for recording band stuff when I was a teenager. I did a lot of audio mixing and like podcasting stuff through high school and university, just playing in bands and writing music and, you know, mixing stuff together. But video editing, MS Paint is the foundation of all of my video editing. And it's like, oh, I need to make something. I guess I'll open up MS Paint and make it transparent and like draw lines and put it on. And if you look at our Valentine's Day stream, for the inception of the Cozy Commune, that's all MS Paint, baby. That's
What?
just
Oh my
yeah,
Excuse me.
you can
I
tell.
was in that stream
I'll have
and
to
I
go
didn't
back
even
and
notice.
look.
I gotta
It
go
is
look.
it is pink. It is, you know what, for the folks viewing at home, I'm just going to change the overlay to it right now. It is bad. It is really bad. It's totally a thing.
Beautiful transition.
Oh, this
Look
is
at
cute
this.
though.
It's cute. Like I saw it, I was like, it's just a cute little thing. I didn't think of MS Paint.
It
Although I
absolutely
can
cut
see
your
the
mics while I was
black.
on it.
Oh, I can see
Oh.
the black where you put like this is where it's going to like this is
Yeah. It's bad. It's really bad.
It's
So
cute.
video editing skills are not my forte. I'm
Mhm.
more of a like jump cuts, lots of jump cuts. I'll just like do the thing and jump between them. The Philip DeFranco school of making YouTube videos. I don't hate it. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
just fine. I'm never going to put special effects into anything because I don't have the time for that. The juice is not worth the squeeze.
I've done some special effects work. It's very light. It wasn't easy.
Mhm.
I'm still
Lindsay
working
Lohan?
on what?
Making yourself look like Lindsay Lohan.
Oh no, that was a TikTok filter.
Yeah.
That was terrifying. We're
And
gonna
accurate.
forget that ever happened.
And now everybody who's listening to this podcast is gonna go find it.
It's only like 100 people a week. You're fine.
Okay. But no, go find it on TikTok. It's fine. But yeah, ever since Goblin Katie pointed that out to me, she just like DM'd me, was like, "You look like Lindsay Lohan," and then I was like, "Now that won't leave my brain. Thank you very much."
This
No,
corn juice is really good.
I'm glad that you like your corn juice. I am enjoying my stout.
I am not enjoying mine, but I think that's because it's coffee and now I'm having a fruit beer and they aren't mixing
Ooh.
right. It's a weird flavor profile in my mouth.
I
It
recently
is a
did.
Tuesday night.
Hey, weird flavor profiles. That's what Tuesday's all about, you know?
I need that on a shirt. Tuesday's weird flavor profiles. That's what our
Yes,
Tuesdays
but it
are,
has to
guys.
look like an X-Files poster.
Oh, 100%. Like if you're not doing the X-Files, you're doing it wrong.
Send it to David. He makes all the shirts for the stream.
Hey, David,
I
you're
will
probably
buy
going to be
one.
watching this. You need to make these for us, and you need to send all of them to Sarah so she can have them for her donation streams.
Speaking of, all of the we're gonna move our pride shirts over to be trans flag shirts on the store for a little bit.
Oh, they're
Um,
gorgeous. I
with
saw little
everything-
samples.
Yeah, with everything, all of the proceeds, we're not making any profit on it. It's all going to the Trans Empowerment Project for the entire time that those things are available up. And
To
it
be
might
honest,
be a
I'm
permanent
probably going to
fixture.
buy like 3. 2 for work, 1 for streaming. I've already planned it out.
I think David
Amazing.
also put in some Canadian tuxedos, so they're the jean jackets with the like
Hell
the bomber fur. Yeah. So
Oh, I want to get one of those, and just every character that I play on Logomancy, I want to get a patch for and just make it.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Let's so
Let's
Pride
circle back to
Revolution.
comments.
Yeah, well, Pride Revolution exists
Mhm.
because a certain group of people really needs a hand up. Because let's be fair, people are assholes on the internet and everywhere else,
And in government.
and in government. Did I stutter? No.
Did I stutter?
Let's explicitly say in the government, especially
Yeah.
in my country. Yeah.
No, it's in
I
our
don't know. I
province
don't
too.
think.
Canada too?
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think that we're any better right now.
Oh.
Let's be honest.
I'm
Well,
not up to date on Canada policy.
It's primarily Alberta, but we can get into that later.
We will have our own separate podcast, which is Rule for Politician, and we talk about just the
and
politicians.
it's where we grab a politician off the street and we wrap them in barbed wire and we roll them down the hill to see which one goes the farthest.
I support
And
this.
yeah.
I support this.
Where's Trump?
So, as a fledgling fledgling creators,
Mhm.
Again, we deal with a whole lot less bullshit and shenanigans than you've had to and still have to. Uh, two topics because I'm mindful of time here.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the things that you've experienced and what you've done to mitigate that, whether it's moderation tools or stepping away or otherwise. So if somebody does come across this, maybe it's something that they can keep in their back pocket for next time. And then I've got a mystery Mousecatool question for you after that.
Fantastic.
Will I need a pillow to hug during? One moment, trauma-based wise. Will I need a pillow to hug during this conversation?
You have a beer. A beer
You
is
have a
just a
stuffed
warm
animal
hug.
around? You may want to grab a stuffed animal.
I'm on it. Give me 1 second. It's
Okay.
right here.
I have Norbert.
Okay, fantastic.
Norbert is my pride dragon.
I got
They're
my play
amazing.
doctor.
Oh, fantastic.
He's a backpack, but he works.
Yeah, so
Story time.
the
Story time.
the hardest part for me of being a creator has always been dealing with the comments of random strangers. It took a lot of therapy for me to be comfortable with just ignoring the trolls, because I always knew that I didn't want to be the kind of creator that acknowledged trolls. But it took a very long time for me not to take the comments of just people on the internet to heart.
Mhm.
And that's occasionally I still struggle with it, and occasionally there is one or two that still stick in my brain. But people can say some absolutely horrendous things for absolutely no reason.
You
I can give you
you
I can
you
give
had a
you some
list.
examples. I have screenshots.
All right,
My-
everybody, strap in for some toxic screenshots.
Yeah.
All
Take
right,
a sip of
gentlemen,
beer every time you
strap
hear
in.
them.
The hype goblin
So,
strap
okay,
in.
so you wanted specifically for us to talk about like being femme presenting on the internet, which sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just here as a little potato with pink hair
Mhm.
and absolutely no makeup. Other times I'm in a full wig, full contoured face. And I think I clean up pretty good when I do that sort of thing.
I'm always in
Um,
potato
You
mode.
look pretty good. You look pretty good. Yeah, same actually. I don't do much makeup anymore.
Yeah,
Potato mode.
when I'm GMing, I can't be bothered to do makeup. But I will get comments like, and this is from a comment, this is from a photo that's semi thirst trappy. I'm like doing like one of these in a
Okay,
red
Yes.
wig and some makeup, right?
For the
So
podcast, she put her finger in her mouth, smiled, and grinned.
Yes.
yeah.
Doing the
Um,
sassy, like if you think of Mary Jane from Spider-Man.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll get comments like this one, like, you have beautiful eyes and I'm a sucker for redheads. Heart eyes emoji, heart eyes emoji. From someone old enough to be my grandfather.
Huh? No. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm.
Other ones I have gotten. There is a video. Where's the comment?
As
There's a
as you look
video.
for it,
There's a video where I essentially did it's from an old clip where I think it's Dominic Monaghan is interviewing Elijah Wood and just doing a really goofy interview, and it's, do you wear wigs? Would you wear wigs? It
I
was
love
that
it.
it was that trend
Yeah.
I
on
love that
TikTok
one. Yeah.
a while ago, and I did it. And so it was when I was learning how to splice two of myself into the frame.
Mhm.
So there's like just normal me asking the questions, and then wig me pops in, and with each answer that Elijah Wood is giving in that interview, I'm wearing a different wig.
Mhm.
And so I got this
I
one,
love
which
that.
is, every time the wigs change, does the carpet change too?
Oh.
And that's not the only one that was like that on that video.
I see.
Yeah.
I
want to shower after hearing that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
my dad always said something that I've taken to heart as a creator, and it's that if you wouldn't take their advice, don't take their criticisms.
Absolutely.
Now he was
Oh, I
talking
love
about
that.
if he was talking about drunk rednecks in the valley, and
But
like
it applies.
assholes that can't hold down a job, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
But it kind of works. Like it's hard too, because you get wrapped up in oh, my self-worth was hanging on by a thread as it is, and then some random doofus pops into our Twitch stream, and now I feel terrible about myself. And I know I shouldn't, but that's not how mental health works.
Exactly. And then there's the constant criticism of I will be the first to say that when I put on a wig and makeup and I am in full femme mode, I absolutely acknowledge that I do have pretty privilege. I do fit the modern aesthetic for what people want to see in media. I get it. But then I will get people who are commenting on my stuff saying things like, let's see. Yes, she looks like such a nerd. Oh, yeah, you look like you've actually read a comic book. Meant in a derogatory sense. Oh, yes, which one was this one? This one, it's one about where'd it go? And there's a whole slew of them like that, and it's on a TikTok where I am lip syncing and I am swapping between all of the different TTRPG characters that I had played that year,
Mhm.
to a song that was talking about like being a creator on TikTok and being nerdy and being in that group.
Very
I have
meta.
also yeah. And then there was some there's a really funny one in here somewhere.
I was about to say, which is the one comment that you're like, because I had one comment before years ago, and it was when I was just starting streaming, and someone called me a shady bitch. And I was just like, and I just stopped. I was like, I have questions.
Yeah.
Why shady? And
Yeah,
now that's just
I need context to understand.
why shady?
Like-
and so I had to like Google shady, like, what does this mean?
Like,
and
bi-
like I made it my Wi-Fi for like the shady bitches. Like
So I have two really funny ones that we can absolutely make fun of. So this is the first one, which for context, it is posted by a white man whose profile pic is him doing like the muscle pose
oh
next to
no,
a
you
kayak.
know it's
Yeah.
gonna be good. Oh no.
And the comment reads thusly: "You are a great follow. What I found really unusual was how pretty you are in real life posts. Generally, I don't give a F, but your real life posts are still great content."
It sounds
Hey,
like
you know, just-
somebody was trying. Like they were so close.
That's a copy and paste answer.
They were so close
It's
to
so
getting
unusual
across.
that you're an actual human.
Yeah.
And when you're also an actual human, I am still attracted to you. I have never had that happen before in my life.
That is a copy and paste answer, and that person has.
and
That
again,
guy's like old enough to be my father, by the way.
This is psychoanalytics, not defending white men on the internet.
No, please go. Please go.
It is as a consumer of content, it is always interesting seeing the behind the scenes stuff with people, because
Mhm.
there are absolutely like TikTok creators out there that they make really interesting trend stuff, and then when they're not doing that and they're talking about something else,
Mhm.
it's just not interesting, right?
Yeah.
And vice versa, where it's like I have like scroll. I've seen this person's stuff 1,000 times before, and it's not my thing. But when they're just being themselves and talking about a thing, I see you as a like not just trying to push content, but like you
Mhm.
had an opinion and it was a good point, and now I follow you, right?
Absolutely.
And it,
See, one of the things that sorry, I cut you off. You go ahead.
I was
But you
I was
cut
gonna
the man
say,
off. You cut the man off and you take up space.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
it's fine.
sorry. I'm sorry. I was just like,
No, we don't
No,
apologize. We
Spread.
don't do that here.
I'm not going to tell
we're
a
Canadian.
person.
What were you supposed to do?
I am never going to tell a lady to spread their legs, but you take all of the nut room that you need on this train. You,
All right, we're
you
just gonna man spread here. Okay,
yeah,
Assume
we're
the
all going to
position.
man spread. It
No,
shouldn't
I
even
was
be
about
man
to
spreading
agree.
because
You can't see, but my legs are as far apart as they will go. I am taking up all the space on the subway.
I'm basically doing
Continue.
the splits. I did Taekwondo for 20 years.
Hell yeah. Do you need help getting up?
No, probably. I'm
How's
also
your
an old
back?
man.
yeah.
I'm rocking a Secret Labs chair, and it is incredibly contoured to my spine. Life
I
is
love
good.
that.
I am not. I was about to just agree with you completely because I like watching behind the scenes too because I just
Mhm.
find it fascinating. So
Also,
I don't feel like
garden
it's
streams.
man's.
We need to do friends only like garden updates of like how are your carrots doing? Here's how my carrots are doing.
I don't have a garden. Oh, disappointment.
Herb boxes in your kitchen.
I
Yeah.
could do that. I kill everything though, except like I should clarify. Wait. Wait. I can take care of animals. I cannot take care of plants.
I can grow food. I cannot grow flowers. That is the
Really?
extent of my green. They just die.
I'm in my Disney princess area where I'm gardening. I have baby robins being born on my front porch. I have a squirrel that eats out of my hand, and I have bunnies in my backyard.
We just
So
have
Okay, I
asshole
need.
woodpeckers that eat my house and magpies that egg them on and squirrels that are 35 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
they sound like
I
chunky
do.
little friends.
They are bigger than raccoons. Like they keep falling off the fences. We have crabapple trees. They eat
Uh-huh.
as much as they want. They are so fat. Like these squirrels
Mhm.
are unhealthy. They deserve to be in a diabetes commercial at this
Stop
point. Like
fat shaming the squirrels.
I want
We
to
are-
help them. I
You
want to help
can't
them.
help them.
They can't help themselves.
But looping back to the comments that you were talking
Mhm.
about, like I can't even imagine like sometimes you're feeling really good about a thing. Is there like is there a comment that you've had that really just shut you down
Or built you up.
or built you up? I
Um,
like the built you up like you're like I'm going to prove you wrong.
Like did something just like everything was super shitty and then somebody's just like, "Hey, I really like what you're doing and like it really means a lot to me."
Yeah,
It
let's put some
was-
positivity into
Yeah,
this
let's do it.
podcast.
So it actually came when it was when I was going through I don't think the video is still up anymore either. But it came when I was going through there was a time where I was going through a severe case of trolling.
Mhm.
And it was centered around pride posts. And it was honestly just it was just that time in TikTok's history where people were just making Discord servers so they could just target harass people. And unfortunately, 1 year during Pride, I was the victim of that.
Oh.
And it was to the point where I had to hand over to my friend RJ. I had to hand over my whole account to him.
Mhm.
So I would text him like, "Hey, I'm ready to go in and like do the post for the day. Can I go in? Is it safe?" And he would go in ahead of me and
Mhm.
he would delete like double digit comments from trolls
Yeah.
before I even touched my account for the day, and he'd give me the green light, "Okay, go in, do your post," and then he would watch it, for me for the rest of the day.
Mhm.
And that lasted for about a month.
Yeah.
And towards the end of that month, like, I made a post I think that was when we could first I don't think it was followers only, but it was the first time, like, I was honestly, like, posting something other than just, like, a silly lip sync
Yeah.
on TikTok. Because up until then, like, I hadn't really used my own voice to say anything, and I don't really do so much now, but I occasionally do, and I occasionally respond to comments with a video post, when I have the spoons for it, which is rare, but it
Mhm.
happens. Um But I made a post that was really honest, and I don't think I realized how many people at that point were already looking towards my content for their source of, like, part of their joy in the day,
Mhm.
because I was just inundated with this outpouring of love
Mhm.
from people of, "We are so sorry you're going through this. We cannot stand that that's happening to you." And I saw those same people. They started watching my videos and watching my comment sections too,
Yeah.
and they were going in, and when trolls were commenting, they were going to bat to say, "Get the hell out of here. We don't want you in this comment section," and that sort of thing. And I got one of the, I got one of the kindest letters. I still I never responded to him because I didn't have the words to say it at the time, but I got the kindest letter from a one of the elder queers in the larger queer community, and he wrote to me about his experience, um, being, from the sounds of it, probably 20, 30 years my senior, about what his experience was like as, a gay man, and having to put up with harassment, and how he enjoyed my sorry, how he enjoyed
Oh,
what I did so much on the internet, and although he didn't comment, he saw me
Mhm.
and he wanted me to keep going.
That's amazing.
And
oh.
I I've never had the words to respond to him, and I don't know if he'll ever hear this, but if he ever does, that was the thing that made me say, "I need to keep going."
That's amazing.
They're not gonna win because, it was just such a he didn't have to do that. He didn't I'm a stranger. He doesn't
Mhm.
know me. Um, while there can be immense amounts of cruelty that get directed at creators from time to time, um, if you have the support system to get through those times, there are people, and I try to remind myself this regularly because I don't just save the mean stuff. Like, I have a folder full of just, like, really nice comments that people have left throughout the years too.
Mhm.
Um, there are people out there who do look to you as a creator, whether you realize it or not, that you are the bright spot in their day when you post something new, when you come up on their timeline. And shortly after that, is around the time when I entered into therapy, because it was such a low time of depression for me,
Mhm.
and dealing with my mental health, and the pandemic at the time was really wearing on me, because I hadn't it was probably, 6 months in to lockdown at that
Yeah.
point. Um, but it really put things in perspective, and through that, like, that's just one of the memories that I've always held on to, is that no matter how mean some random asshole is to me on the internet,
Mhm.
um, the people liking my videos, no matter how how dumb or inconsequential they feel to me, like, that's their entertainment for the day. That's the thing that sometimes it's a goofy affirmation, and people are commenting, "That's really what I really needed to hear today, because the world fricking sucks."
Well, and
Um,
think
so
of
if I
how many
can
videos you scroll through on a regular basis on social media,
Mhm.
and how many do you actually take the time to leave a like or a comment on?
I
And
try to do as many as I can now,
it's
honestly.
it's hard for me, honestly.
Mhm.
I'm like, um, there's a there's a barrier. There's something in my brain, and I'm not sure if
Mhm.
it's a made up thing or a real thing, where it's like, um, I don't want to just randomly like a thing because I don't want to affect an algorithm in a weird way. But I also
Uh-huh.
don't want to send a wrong message by leaving a comment on something and potentially like James splaining something and just like I really want to leave a heartfelt content, but it's or comment, but it's probably going to come across as something like super cringe. So I'm just not going
I
to do this.
I've embraced my cringe at this point,
I'm
and
not
I
that
think
comfortable yet.
you'll get there. Don't
Well,
worry.
I either
You're
run
Um
dad.
from
You're gonna have dad jokes and everything. You're just
I
a
already do.
walking cringe. Then you're
It,
a walking
I
cringe.
I
You
think
embrace
the
it.
it's
I think
more
being in the creator game for so long, I've realized, one, how important commenting is in algorithms. So I do try to do it as often as I can.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of my other fellow creators try to do it as often as they can too. Obviously, you can't get to everything. There's no
Only so
way.
many hours in the day.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
um, I have a list a mile long of cool shit my friends have made that I do not have time to watch right now, but I'll watch it maybe when I'm 40. I
Yeah.
don't know. Whenever life slows down, whenever that is.
Our
But
Wednesday shows.
yeah.
Hey, hey, hey.
I'm putting my babies to bed. I'm not sitting and listening.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Okay, rude. Extremely rude.
Wednesday's my
I
day
thought
off. I'm
we were
sorry.
friends.
We
But
are.
um
apparently
Love
not.
you.
but even if it's just an emoji or
Yeah.
something, I try to feed for things that I like and enjoy. I try to feed the algorithm for that creator as much as I can, because it means a lot to me when people show up in that way. I have one commenter on Instagram I won't call them out, but they're just so sweet. If they don't have anything to say, they post exactly 4 hearts,
Oh,
4 purple hearts in my comments on every single post I post, and they have done it ever since they followed me.
that's a stan.
Yeah, and I cannot tell you, like, in this world where, like, as a creator, like, you have to kinda try and figure out what algorithms want for you.
Yeah.
Um, I am a beer and a half in, and words are getting hard. Um,
That sounds like an excellent time to swing on a segue.
oh, please do. Please do.
And I
Stop me
don't
from
mean that
rambling,
literally,
please.
like
You know
whatever
what?
your
But I love the
whatever your marital
rambling.
arrangements are and your modes of transportation, please don't swing on a Segway. That's dangerous.
That seems like fun though. I'm
I'm not
sorry.
saying don't tempt me
Let's
with a good
just
time, but
say,
Segways
like,
are
if you had a Segway or a chandelier, which one would you rather sway on?
probably the chandelier because the Segway is only fun until the city did not properly pour the curb, and then
yeah.
you hit a bump that is far too large, and then you go into a bush.
I
Also,
feel like this was a personal experience.
Personal experience, no. I worked in Nashville and they added rentable segways for a period of time,
yeah,
and I saw many
we have scooters here now.
many people under the influence who should not have been on a Segway go into a bush. So,
Also,
I wonder.
Segways are designed for one person, whereas you can fit many swinging couples on a chandelier at one time, and that's way more fun.
yeah.
Um,
Sure.
time for a mystery mousecatool.
A mystery mouse tool. Do I
Um,
have to do mine first?
well, it's technically I was
This is
only
the
going to ask
first I'm
yours, but we
hearing
can too.
about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So, as a content creator, this is a secret tool that'll help us later. I want to know the one thing, whether it's a piece of hardware, equipment,
Mhm.
an application, a one secret hidden trick or hack that you learned that revolutionized your life that you should monetize and make billions off of. What's the thing that you rely on a regular basis?
So
she
for
was
me,
already pulling it out before you even
yep,
finished the
I knew what I was
question.
pulling. Okay, so technically it's 2 things, but it's the feature that they both share in common,
Okay.
which, these are both actually from the same company. This one is the DJI Osmo Pocket Gimbal Camera, and
Hmm.
this is a DJI, gimbal for a
Yep.
cell phone, and it is the gimbal that has been absolutely revolutionary for me to learn to use
Hmm.
in content, whether I'm using this little guy that fits in my pocket because I'm traveling, or I'm using this and I'm just walking through my house. The smoother and more fluid you can make content as a video creator, the more pleasant an experience it is for the viewer.
That's fair.
So using something with a gimbal, I know there's like a $50 one that they're pushing on TikTok Shop right now. Which is, probably a good deal. But things like those have absolutely revolutionized when I'm just traveling with family and not intending to post on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Um, it's so much nicer to have that smooth shot that tracks your subject, which
Hmm.
most things that have a gimbal will come with software that can do object tracking. um, it's really nice to have, especially, like, for, like, my husband plays hockey, so, like, sporting events and stuff like that. I wish I would have had these sorts of things sooner in my arsenal.
Hmm.
Um, and if I had to pick a second thing, it's stuff like, just the DJI Pocket Osmo in general. Just something that you can discreetly pull out to film things is game changer.
You know
Not
what?
having to carry around
For
my
the
camera is phenomenal in a con setting.
as a person with a slight vertigo, I appreciate people that have a gimbal when I
Mhm.
watch the videos and it's not like jumping everywhere and shaking. I appreciate it. So I would like to express from people who have a little slight vertigo or major vertigo, thank
Mhm.
you for using a gimbal and not making me want to throw up.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I don't always reach for them, but just in the off chance that, like, I know I'm going to be walking somewhere and talking, it's so convenient to have, and it just makes for a better overall experience.
And see, uh, if we're like apples to oranges sort of thing,
Mhm.
you focused on the video aspect of it,
Mhm.
and mine, which is conveniently packed into a tote because we're ripping our basement apart, is the Zoom H1N
Mhm.
pocket recorder. They're like $70 brand new Canadian, so better if you're down in the States.
Mhm.
Um, if you want to do a podcast, it's uh, you dial it in for the volume level that is comfortable for you. You hit the button, you put it on the table, you record. It's really good for plugging a lav mic into if you're running with a camera that doesn't have an audio input, like these Canon M200s. They look great,
Mhm.
but they don't have a jack for a mic. So
Mhm.
you run your lav into basically a little pocket pack, and just from recording instruments like band practices, stuff on stage, it's got a 3.5 mil input for like 60-70 bucks. I've used it so many times that the first one I broke, I just turned around and bought another one the exact same day.
Amazing.
Like, and they've come out with new versions of it and stuff, and they're just the same sort of thing, but more plastic and whatever. Uh,
Mhm.
I'll keep using the inexpensive like uh workhorse that it is.
Yeah, I've bought most of my equipment used, and I will happily pay full price for everything that's currently in my kit.
The other side of it, and again, it's for the same reason, is
Mhm.
I threw a link in our Discord for it, but Newer makes a mini camera tripod that I'm not a huge fan of gimbals
Mhm.
for the like battery powered gimbals for like the rotation and stuff. Um, I just naturally like balance things out. Um, but Newer makes a little tiny tripod that has cold shoe and hot shoe mounts attached to the tripod.
Mhm.
So if you want to run a microphone or a light off of something, or if you're putting your phone on it and it doesn't have a camera mount or a microphone mount, you can mount the mic on the side of the tripod for it or attach
Newer is
clamps to it.
the unsung hero
Yeah, yeah.
of creators everywhere. They make such good stuff for such an affordable price.
To be
Newer.
honest, right now I'm just taking notes on
Mhm.
what I should look for a new camera.
I
Uh
gotcha. I gotcha.
yeah, I'll be honest, I can't really contribute to this conversation. You know what I like? I like
Cookies.
I okay, well no, but all right, yeah. But I was gonna say I like my light setup,
You do?
but that's mostly just James again. So I'm just like, I will write notes on what I should be getting. Like get a gimbal. That's on my
Yeah.
list.
Buy
Mhm.
as you need stuff.
Yeah.
Like I made plenty of mistakes in the first like 2 years of running the channel of like, well, I want to make this thing. Therefore, I need to go buy X to be able to make that thing. And
Mhm.
that's a fallacy. Like you should
Yeah.
just make the thing, and uh eventually things will get better and you upgrade as you go, because so often I'll buy something and it's like, "Oh, and now I'm not gonna get to make that thing for like 6 months, and it's gonna sit on a shelf."
Yeah, honestly, with as advanced as cell phone cameras are at this point, like when it comes to like webcams and stuff, the first thing I tell people when they're like thinking about getting into streaming is, okay, well, what cell phone do you have?
Droid
Because
cam.
this thing right here, this by iPhone, this is just as good as a webcam as the Sony A6100 that I
Mhm.
have sitting in front of me is.
Yeah.
Um, when I travel now, I don't even take my Sony with me anymore. I just take this and I take my little pocket camera, and
Mhm.
that's it. You don't need a lot of extra kit, especially when you're first. Sorry, microphone. Especially I keep hitting it tonight. I don't know why. I'm not
I
mad at
know
you, I
why. How's that
swear.
beer
I
doing?
know why. How's the is the beer gone? Is the beer gone?
Almost. Don't judge me. But anyways, you don't need a lot of stuff as a creator
Yeah.
in the streaming space or in the social media creation space that is some big fancy camera. If you're getting into more like doing like UGC content for like businesses and stuff because they want you to create for them, then you invest in like a really nice camera. But for the most part, you don't need all that much to start getting into content creation. People ask me all the time what camera I'm using
Mhm.
for like TikToks and stuff, and I'm not even using the good camera on my iPhone. I'm using the selfie camera.
Even those are phenomenal. I use
Yeah.
the OnePlus 10G
Mhm.
or 10T, sorry. Um, and they're great. And Allison,
Absolutely.
one of the things that we might actually look at for you, um, honorable mention on the Muscatools is DroidCam because it works for
Mhm.
Apple and for Mac. You
Mhm.
install it on your cell phone. I was talking to Bryn Ursa.
Hey, I
She's a
got a Google Plus.
Yeah.
That I think that one has a really good camera on the back of it,
It'd be
actually.
fine.
It does. I do photo a lot when I go traveling.
Mhm.
And I will say the Google, because I got the Google
Mhm.
Pro, the camera work is very well. But I would like to remind everybody, like, this wasn't like the cameras like we had in the past. Because I remember
Yeah.
my first Nokia. Can we like
BlackBerry Pearl, baby.
whew,
Yeah.
I had the very first flip phone that Virgin Mobile ever put out. That was
Oh,
my first cell phone.
I miss
love it.
the flip phones. I know that's a tangent,
Mhm.
but it's just so satisfying.
Yeah, it was. I
In
always
in
wanted the Razor.
so did I, but they were too edgy for me.
They were too
I was afraid I was
expensive.
Dad
gonna break
pun.
them. Oh, go home.
In the I am home. I am
Go
the
to bed.
adult here. In the
Shit.
interest of time, um, I'm gonna round us out here.
Mhm.
Um, if you like what we do, please drop us a like and a follow on all the social media platforms and jump onto our community on Discord. Share some pretty cool shit and some pretty cool causes that are near and dear to our hearts. If you want to see more of Sarah, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me all over the internet as the Hype Goblin. If you want to stay up to date where I am live, the best place to go is to go to hypegoblin.com/events. I have my full event calendar synced there. And if you're looking for behind the scene content for any of my podcasts, I currently have a 5e podcast that is highlighting the best of the TTRPG community in third party publishing, because I firmly believe that we don't need Wizards of the Coast anymore to play 5e.
Mhm.
And I have been using nearly everything that I possibly can in Tome of Beast 3, which I would show you, but it currently has empty beer bottles piled up on top of it.
I like it.
I wonder why.
That's good for you.
uh,
It's got vitamins or something.
it does. But yes, so if
Not
you're
legal
interested
advice.
in a campaign where myself and the players are very much giving the middle finger to Wizards of the Coast as we play 5e in a level 1 to 20 campaign, you can find me there, or you can find me on Patreon if you want to support any of the creative work that I do. Patreon.com/the Hype Goblin helps me. We just purchased some new equipment for one of our cast members, and it was great.
I love it.
Yeah.
You can also find Sarah occasionally on the Logomancy stream, whether we're
Mhm.
playing Stardew or getting back to Vagabond, or
I can't wait to
potentially
finish that
running
adventure.
more Roll for Wishes stuff later this year. We'll see how schedules work.
Mhm.
So,
I'll make time.
yeah, I gave you guys like 5.5 months in advance
Mhm.
of the stream. I feel
It
that was reasonable.
When it comes to I tell my friends this all the time. When it comes to charity work, as long as you give me like a month in advance to like adjust my schedule, I will make time for
Yeah.
whatever the charity event is. That is my bread and butter. That is my thing that I like to do. I think I currently have the most people invited into the
Pride
current
Revolution.
charity event
Yeah.
that we're part of. Yeah, I'll
I
make
love
time
it.
for y'all.
But yeah, as for the rest of us, you can find us Monday and Wednesday nights generally on the Logomancy channel. Occasionally, Roll for Beer will run Thursday nights or Tuesdays, as it were, for right here. And for the month of May and June, you'll also find me streaming on a couple other channels, like the Hype Goblin channel, as well as Telltale Hearts, and uh, Even Footing Gaming, I believe, is hosting one of the games that I'm going to be running in. I want to
I
say
think
it's
you I
Thirsty
think you are
Sword
in one.
Lesbians. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's going to be a good time.
Let's
Neon's
just make sure that if we do go to Hype Goblin, make sure you donate up to 500 so we can watch the spicy chip challenge with the Hype Goblin.
or if
That
you tune in on ours,
Mhm.
when I'm also playing in
No.
a game.
No, you want to come. You want to come over to the Hype Goblin stream.
I mean, I
We
wouldn't
have
say that it's
chaos.
on
We have the goblin.
June
We have the
10th.
troublemakers.
I think it's June 10th. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're pretty
Yeah.
troublemakers over here too.
Come to my stream. Do
hey,
the chip
hey.
challenge on my stream.
This is very like dark side and light side. You
Come to
will
the
do
dark
it
side.
over
We have
mine.
cookies.
We have chips.
Also, Allison, if you end up sending a care package, we can include a bottle of Dr. Ramshackle's old timey juice that makes you
we
explode.
need to do that, especially for just the donation stream. Because if he
But
does the chip
I need
challenge,
I'll need a
should do that
friends only
challenge.
TikTok to go up that is like at least a minute long. Because it's so cathartic. It's so good. It is.
I
it is
sent
a-
you two.
Yeah.
You psychopath.
It's really good for you. For those not in the know or haven't been following, I made my friends something that is probably illegal in America.
Illegal in America, illegal here too.
Nah, it's fine. No, you can have bear spray. It's grain alcohol, like 92% Everclear or whatever. A dozen Carolina Reaper peppers, a dozen ice cream vanilla Trinidad Moruga scorpion peppers,
no.
a dozen cherry ghost peppers, a dozen vanilla beans just to add, like boost the vanilla flavor, and then a dozen orange habaneros for that like citrus.
If
And-
You hate
can-
your life after you drink it. You hate
No,
it
it's great.
automatically.
if you
you're like,
can
why
get
did
it to
you
me
do
before the event, I will add an additional charity option where they can make me take a shot of whatever the hell that
A
is.
splash.
I'll
Don't
see
take
what I
a
can do.
shot. You know what, James? Let me know if you're gonna do that. If you do that, I will make a
Yeah,
care
well,
package.
Let's put together a care package for Steph. We got you covered.
A
That said,
Canadian care package. Hell yeah.
it can be full of butter tarts and Nanaimo bar and booze that makes you explode.
And
I'll-
ketchup
I'll-
chips.
And
I'll
ketchup
send y'all
chips.
some saltwater taffy.
I love it.
Oh,
Beautiful.
I love saltwater toffee. All right.
We're gonna call it. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Next episode is likely to be out 2 weeks from now. Schedules permitting, we might have a special guest. It might just be Allison and I. Remains to be seen. We'll see how life twists and turns us. We'll see you all tomorrow night for the Frontier Adventuring Frontier Adventuring Company. I'll get that right one of these days.
You're never gonna get right. I'm
No, I'm
gonna
never gonna
count
get it
how
right.
many times.
It's
and
FAC. It'll do. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sarah, for sitting with us and drinking a couple of beers and having a good time and sharing some pearls of
Absolutely.
wisdom. I appreciate
It
it.
was lovely meeting you, and I appreciate everything that you do.
It was lovely meeting you too.
Allison, I appreciate you too.
I appreciate you too, James.
I appreciate both of you.
This is amazing.
Start crying.
You're gonna
Let's
make
get
me
off of
ugly
here.
cry.
Quick, hurry.
All right.
We're gonna start crying.
All
Good
right.
night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.